Go! I do believe we're live. So, I'll say indeed, and greeting unto you. Beloved and holy friends, it is a pleasure as always to have you here, where it is we are. Where we are willing to consciously evolve, and sometimes consciously evolving takes calling yourself out a little bit. I watched a podcast by Diary of a CEO, uh, psychologist Hoffman. Not Albert Hoffman. I feel bad. I should remember name. I at least still have it open technically. Donald Hoffman. And he's basically just like dropping some wisdoms, right? Like man's is, I think, a doctor. I think he's a doctor. I think he's PhD. Let me see. Probably will have in the title. More. More. Show me more. I'm calm. I'm so chill. I'm actually a very chillaxed and calm person. Especially so when I push a button that says more and then it like just highlights the entire little box and doesn't push that button that I pushed. I love that. That's like my favorite thing. Something calling myself out of my own bullshit. Yeah. I feel like I'm like something in me does it to myself for some reason. It's like there is a reality where everything just works the way it's supposed to the first time for me, but for some reason I just don't want it. I don't want it to be like that. I want to struggle until it works. There we go. So Donald Hoffman is an award-winning cognitive scientist and a professor. So he is a. You have to have a PhD to be a professor, do you? Do you? Professor at the University of California, Irvine. He is best known for his groundbreaking research into perception and consciousness, and is also the author of the book The Case Against Reality. And essentially, what he talks about, advocates for, is the fact that we are, in fact, not living in reality. All right, that what we are perceiving through our senses is definitely not real, like definitely not reality. And it's so interesting to me that as I absorb these smart people's answers to these questions, right, I notice so many of the things that we've discussed in this space. While at the same time, uh, having tried to like call my own bullshit sometimes with the amount I'm exploring, right, with the amount of woo woo I can reach, and then I listen to a podcast, right, with millions of views and a person that is relatively respected, and then they're like sharing these ideas. I'm like, oh, maybe I wasn't as cracked as I thought I might have been. Maybe, maybe the rest of reality is gonna catch up with the way that I perceive things egoically. I believe that things are gonna change so much over the next few years that if you don't change, you'll feel out of place. To say it in so many words. Consciously evolving takes calling yourself out. But yeah, when I perform that service for other people, I'm the problem. I don't think it's a problem. It's more like a matter of like, are you providing useful alternatives? All right. It's like if you're gonna call someone out, for instance, like I call my family out sometimes. If my dad or my mom complains about bodily ailments, right? Like, oh, my shoulder is hurting or my back is hurting. I go, have you tried some yoga? Have you tried some yoga? Right? I call them out because yes, I'm a freaking 27-year-old. I am literally in pain maybe 80% of the time. Right? Like right now, my lower back is still, it's better today than it was yesterday and the day before, but it's still there. Right? And if I don't yoga about it, it gets worse. And I can complain as much as I want to. I could be like, woe is me having a back and stuff. But if I call myself out on that narrative of like, oh, I'm such a victim, then I just gotta start doing stuff about it. Right? I stop suffering. I stop suffering my pain and I do something about it. Right? And again, calling people out on that, Sav, like on the the thing that's going to relieve some of the suffering they might experience. Some people identify with their suffering. They're like, oh, who am I if I'm not suffering? Who am I if I don't hate my life? Who am I if I don't hate my dad? Who am I if I don't hate my job? All right. That suffering is an attachment in the same way. And that's another thing that the good old Mr. Hoffman shared, is the fact that non-attachment seems to be the best way to cope with reality. All right, to recognize that your senses as they are there to keep you alive long enough so you can potentially procreate. And it doesn't care about anything else. And in that way, you have to care about everything else. You have to be the one that actually chooses your attachments. All right. And I feel, again, if you become attached to your suffering, it's a hard knock life for us. It's hard knock. Are you providing a useful service? The multi-purpose use of the bar has been debated many times in this stream. I'm not asking, are you providing a useful service? I'm asking, are you providing an alternative? I believe was the thing I said, right? Like if someone is like, oh, this thing I'm doing, right, and you call them out on the thing they're doing, are you giving them another thing to potentially be doing instead of the thing that it is they're doing, right? Because it's one thing, because that's, I feel like, and that's what I've been trying to do in my own journey, Sam. It's one thing to be a bard and to be an observational one. I see the man drinking his drink. It's another thing to go, the man sitting at the bar is a drunkard, right? Technically, you're like using the same material. Man sits at bar drinking, all right? But one is observational. Man is drinking his drink. Other one is man is drunkard, all right? So you are casting an evaluation on that person. Maybe they're having a rough time. Maybe their dad was a drunkard, and it's something they're very insecure about. And their brother just died, so they're having a drink to be okay just for a moment. And now suddenly Bart sings this thing, right? They're not gonna take it well. They're gonna be like, fuck you, I'm not a drunk. I'm just drinking something. Fuck you. All right. All right. So it's kind of like that what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Koime. Koime. Koisme. You know what I means? So the ego picks your attachments. I think the ego likes your attachments. I don't even know if they always pick your attachments. I think they like them. Right? It's like I might be attached to like a shiny thing. I'm like attached, for example, to my Dynavap, right? And as a result, like let me backtrack a little bit. I like this little thing, and as a result, there is a certain level of attachment to me, to this. So if I had to like drop it out of my pocket and then suddenly realize it's not there anymore, I'd be upset. I'd be like, oh, this thing, I'll suffer because I want for things to be differently because I had the attachment that is this thing, right? But then again, it comes back to my ego likes this thing. And then when it is in the realm of ego, it can be something like, I don't want to share it. I don't want someone else to pick it up and not know what it is, throw it away, drive over it with their car, right? Whatever egoic attachment I have to my perception of how it's supposed to be, right? I think that's maybe where the ego gets involved in choosing, right? Because the ego might convince you that it's not choosing, but it might still be. In other words, you might have dropped your Dynavap, and then you're like very sad about that. And we did. Me and Jovan, when she was here, I did drop my Dynavap, and one of my friends at the festival found it for me, all right? But in the meantime, I was stressed. And I was like beating myself up egoically because I had misplaced this thing that I have some level of attachment to. You see what I mean? See what I means? Yeah. There is a certain level of perception that we assign through ego as importance to things. And it might be detrimental. It might be slightly detrimental to do so. Jovan saying, ego is one hell of a shield. Many won't learn about themselves unless they're the ones who discover it. Being called out can be perceived as an attack, even when it's really just an invitation to grow. That's beautifully said. Memory unlocked, Jovan said. Misplaced Dynavap and a dear friend looking after you, right? Yeah. So me and Jovan were at a festival, and we were sitting in this little area that had like beads that you could make like little bracelets of. Jovan made me a bracelet. It's hanging around the neck of the little bird that she made me, the backpack bird that she made out of stained glass. Anyway, right? So we're like sitting there making these little bead bracelets, having chats with the peepers, partaking of Dynavaps. And then eventually we decide we're gonna go back to our place of sleepings, right? And then we get up, and I make sure, of course, I make sure that her Dynavap is packed because that's what happened in that moment. I thought my Dynavap had already been packed, and in fact, it wasn't. So I was like, oh, here's Jovan's Dynavap, make sure it goes in bag. And then we left. And then one of my friends literally sent me a WhatsApp, Liam, his name is. We like calling him Frog Guy. Liam. And it was like I had a loving tab open in reality for me, right? Again, that friend could have liked me enough as a friend to be like, yeah, he's my friend, but he could have liked my stuff, the idea of having a Dynavap more than he likes being my friend, right? And again, this in South Africa is a relatively expensive little thingy. It's like 2 grand, which is like $100. $100 thingy, right? So I have like if $100 note was on the ground there, right? Maybe it would have been harder for him to call me and let me know that I had dropped it, but he had, and that also on the other side made my ego feel a bunch of things, right? That I am likable enough that people will like me more than they like my stuff, right? And I'm thinking about a quote that I heard recently that goes, you will always be more impressed by your own possessions than other people will be. Right? So I don't know if that fits in that whole narrative dialogue that I just shared, but it's just another thing to think about. It's nice to have friends that love us. Huh, Jean? Memory unlock. Yeah. There's so many memories that we're still going to make. I do really desperately want my technology to catch up with me. I want to be able to perfect recall everything. Maybe that's an unreasonable request, but I like being unreasonable in my requests. Can I please have one everything? I asked, and the universe obliged. It was like, oh, you want everything? Like, holy shit, how am I supposed to? Gives me this. Wow, that's a lot of everything. Thanks, universe. So much everything I can't have all of it, even if I wanted to. All I can take is this breath. And that too I have to return. Mm. We're adding some heat. I got some GC in here. Greenum macramums. Grana crocums. Grananius crocus. This one is the one that tastes the worst to me. It's not bad. It's bad. It's not that bad. It's kind of like uh it's kind of like bad. I don't particularly enjoy this one. All of the other ones are good, but this one is bad to me. Maybe it's good to someone else. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just I'm just mean. It's kind of like tea-like. Tea/earthy flavors. Muted flavors. That's another way to say it as well. Right? Imagine I like loud music and fast beats, and then this is jazz. That's like playing in the background of a cafe. Yeah, exactly. It is a sativa, very strong sativa, so I wonder if it will affect me in that way. I don't know if I want to put a cap on. Oh, yes. I'll wear the jacket the incorrect way. There's like just the wind is just coming from that side, going that way, and it's keeps letting me know that it's present. You can see the goosebumps, can't you? Yeah, you can see the goosebumps. Fine. I'll hide my arms from you, wind. I'll hide. Still got most of my colors going. That's fine. Yeah. Imagine I like loud and fast music, and this is jazz. I have a Metalocalypse episode for you about that very fucking thing. I've seen every Metalocalypse episode, dear Sam. Me and Jovan had a conversation recently about the parts of us that is a little bit drawn to the disturbing, right? And I feel, and this is me like talking in a way where I don't want Joe to be feeling shy or whatever, but there was like a little bit I was detecting of apprehension in Joe with her potentially liking some of the more creepy stuff and, thinking about my delicate predispositions. And yeah, it didn't take me long to remind her as well that I, in fact, also have some morbid curiosity. Metalocalypse is one of those, dear Sam. First episode, they drop a box on a bunch of people. I was like 14 when I started watching Metalocalypse. I was definitely not supposed to be watching Metalocalypse, but I loved it. I loved it so much. I wanted everybody else to understand. I wanted them to watch it too. I don't think anybody else could stomach it. I think literally most people watch the first episode and they're like, "Oh, you watch this? You watch this by your own will and volition. You're doing it on purpose, are you? You know there's other things you can watch." I don't know if I'd still enjoy it today, Sam. I have changed a lot. The version of me that watched Metalocalypse is not the version of me that's sitting in front of you right now. All right. But I acknowledge that I am still very, very drawn to the absurd. I'm going to make some absurd stuff myself one day too. I do hope that it's still beautiful. That's the big thing for me, right? I don't know if Metalocalypse was as beautiful. It was kind of disgusting, right? But again, that was the point. However, I want to do the same vibes. I want to disturb you, but I don't want it to be disgusting or ugly. I don't want it to be ugly. There's a movie called Annihilation, I think. Is it Annihilation? Mm, the movie Annihilation. Yes, it was the movie Annihilation. It's the sci-fi slash horror. This is the only sci-fi slash horror that I've ever watched and mildly enjoyed. And I'm specifically pointing towards the horror denominator, right? Because I don't particularly am drawn to horror stuff because it usually grosses me out. It's disgusting. It's not beautiful. However, this movie, made things beautiful. Like I just, you should, if you know, you know. Like a part of me wants to show you some of this stuff, but I'm also like, oh, this is in fact horrifying. I clearly like the amount of nostalgia I remembered it with was, it was beautiful, and then I look at it again, I'm like, no, it is still beautiful, well done, but horrific, absolutely horrifying. Yeah. So one day I'll make I'll make disturbing things too. Amongst the many things that I do make, some of it might be disturbing, but I hope to make it beautiful, right? And I am learning in myself where that balance is, right? How can I disturb you the right amount, right? While still keeping your mind in a state of this is still beautiful. I don't know if you're picking up the signals I'm trying to put down, right? What I'm again, what we try to do in this space is conscious evolution. So I feel when you can look at something that by whatever standard you have of reality, it disturbs you, right? It's so out of the norm of reality that you are taken aback by the absurdity of it. But while you are being taken back by the absurdity of what it is you're witnessing, you cannot help but acknowledge that there is some sort of beauty in what it is you're looking at. All right. For me, I've had that experience in meditation and with divine moment of thought. And, if I really allow myself to get mauled by the lions, if you will, right, you can suddenly unlock states of reality, usually in your own mind, ideally, but you can unlock states of reality that disturb you on a level. For example, maybe I should give you some context. During one of my recent, and it's now been a little bit more than a month uh, ago, yeah, a little bit more than a month ago. Now was my last one. I took a lot of time just to be by myself, and as I went into myself, and I just closed my eyes, and I allowed myself to witness what was there. One of the things that I saw was essentially what I would explain, describe as the reality of demons, right? But again, it was it was clear to me it was like a kind of demons, right? Because of the way they looked, they had these very interesting geometries about the way their bodies would shape up, right? Imagine spheres in spheres, overlapping spheres. And then as those spheres overlap one another, they create textures. And then as those textures get extruded into reality, they get covered by some sort of like invisible slash energetic film. Yes, that makes perfect sense, Mel. Thank you. We understand. Uh, Again, right? Like imagine bodies. You can like clearly see these are occupying bodies. The same way you would see yourself as a body extruding into reality, right? But instead of it being like this, it's like these like tentacle-esque spheroid extrusions of self. And it was again horrifying to look at because I didn't know what I was seeing. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't understand what it was they felt being that. But I couldn't help but acknowledge that it was beautiful, right? Their reality also had this, again, spheroid kind of nature to it. Like imagine it's spheres and spheres and spheres embedded, but depending on where those spheres intersect each other, there's like lines being drawn. And then depending on how many spheres intersect on certain places, those lines become like solid. They become more structured the more they intermesh. And then those structured mesh lines end up becoming like the pillar that holds up the roof that is above your head that also has that curvature of the sphere-like lines intersecting to make roof. I was like, oh, what am I looking at? And then after I like got over the extreme of this is very out of my norm of reality of what I'm used to seeing, when I could like get past it and just look at what I was looking at, it became a story. And they were having like banter, they were having a conversation, and it was clear to me that there was things being said. However, I didn't understand them, or at least the understanding was up for interpretation. The understanding was multidimensional in communication. Right, the languages they were speaking were directly as insane and weird in intersections as their reality and bodies were as well. Right, and I was like, what am I looking at? Like experiences like that convince me that I want to be able to bring that into this reality, right? And I don't know if I have to jack myself into computers, and I'm going to do that too, right? I don't know if that's going to be the thing that gets me to actually output what's inside here, right? Like imagine being able to plug yourself into a projector. Maybe that would be horrifying for you to imagine. And I'm not saying that my imagination is like that of a saint. Maybe you'll see some boobs. I'm so sorry. Maybe. Probably not. You'll probably see aliens a lot more. Oh, so many aliens. But maybe the aliens will have boobs. And again, I want us as a species to get to a point where that's not something that we are uh, disturbed by anymore. right? Because of the absurdity of the reality that we're in already, and of the absurdity of realities that I plan on creating. I want everything else to almost become tame in comparison, right? And I don't know if that's me trying to be reductionist of the reality that I'm in, or if I'm trying to almost like reframe how it is I'm perceiving this whole. You watch this? Pickles help me feel seen, and Nathan makes me feel smart. Oh, you were talking about the characters from Metalocalypse. Pickles help me feel seen, and Nathan makes me feel smart. Yeah. Again, right? Like it's the delicate sensibilities thing, Sam. I do have relatively delicate sensibilities. Emphasis on the relatively. Because some things I do not tolerate, and some things I still have some level of curiosity towards. And it's interesting how that state is in active flux, never changes really. That doesn't change. You're always going to be where you are to receive the information you receive in the way that you receive it. You're like, what are you trying to say, Mel? I'm saying that I can get the exact same news, right? Let's say uh, something that can be repeatable, right? Let's say I am a stock trader, right? And I created a long position and I had 50% of my net worth as collateral. And then I uh, did something, right? Went out to dinner. Maybe like I have to go do something for my mom. And then I come back, or maybe like while I'm on the road, somebody calls me. And maybe I'm like stressing. Maybe I'm like already rushing and I'm trying to get stuff done. And that person calls me and tells me, hey, oh, like some announcement happened and the marks tanked. And yeah, your stop loss got hit. 80% of your collateral gone, right? You've lost 40% of your net worth or whatever, right? And now I receive this information and I lose my mind, right? I might want to crash my car because of how distraught I am. And then let's say again, 50 years pass. Maybe I've earned a lot more money. Maybe again, we're in the exact same position, 50% of my collateral. But because I've lived this extra 50 years of life, getting the exact same news verbatim, right? I'm again out. Sure, my mom has lived an extra 50 years. Let's imagine it's the future that I live in, all right? Another 50 years pass, I'm still doing an errand for my mom. I get a call, right? But now suddenly, I don't feel like I want to crash my car, and it doesn't matter to me at all, right? And for me, it's again like the ability for us to receive information and the way that we almost like can change our reality on a whim, right? Like the ability that we as human beings have to hurt ourselves. It's wild. Like you could just stop all of the love, all of the hope, all of the joy you will ever bring into the world, right? And it's probably the most terrifying thing that there is. And then how do we bring that full circle back to today's stream topic? Again, specifically so in considering calling ourselves out. It's very easy to convince yourself of things in your brain if you're not willing to call yourself out on things. Allow yourself to admit you don't know things or that you might be assuming the worst. Just admit that you can do that sometimes. And I do think things will end up being better in the long term. Being non attached enough to not let yourself get hurt being attached enough to make sure you continue forward. I've been watching Burbies this whole time. They make me happy. There's one that's beautifully red. He has this big red bottom. I'll show you a photo because it won't be able to show you a shot on the camera. I'll just do this one. Red-bellied black-top bird in South Africa. This one. It's one of them running around in the yard right now. Where are you going? Why are you doing that? Isn't that a cool looking bird? So red. That's like a nice shade of red he got. It's so cool. Color is crazy. Color makes me haps. I do like colors. Jovan, of course. I was hoping that you were here, hearing me talk about the Burbies, wanting to show you the Burbie that I'm seeing. I don't know if you saw one of those when you were here. I do hope that we see some of them when you come. Stugga AG3. Hey, boss. What's up? What's up, friend? How you doing? Is life treating you well? We got Nancy joining us too. Hey, Nancy. What's up with you, Sandra? It is, right? I suddenly had the tab open on my brain where it was like, yeah, Nancy. Love is true. Nancy, Stugga, Sam, of course. We love you, Zhao. Good morning. Good morning. I'm already looking at the moon this whole time as well. She's just been chilling up there, staring back at me. Noodle boy, you were always at a peaceful place. I am very intentional in trying to put myself in peaceful places, Noodle boy. I am very not at peace most of the time. Inside my brain is crazy. Just imagine like a bunch of like fire alarms, sirens, you know, like people running around, buildings burning down, you know, firefighters coming to fix it. While they're trying to fix it, people are working on the fire truck to try and make it better. While those people are trying to work on the fire truck to make it better, people are working on theirs, on their bodies to make them better. My brain doesn't like peace, doesn't like quiet. I don't think, at least, but my body does. And I kind of like thrive, even, I believe, Noodle boy. I thrive in that space of just ceaselessly doing or ceaselessly keeping myself preoccupied. For instance, if I didn't choose to do this with you friends and be as mindful with it as I did, I would spend just like weeks behind the computer. I won't even know this world exists. I've seen myself capable of it, become disassociated hard enough that I cease to live in this reality. That happened to me in China. I literally disassociated hard enough to start living in a game, Witcher 3 specifically. It, I believe, saved my life at that point. But unfortunately, when you disassociate that hard, you stop taking care of yourself. I stopped exercising. I stopped going out. I wasn't technically allowed to go out, so there's caveats. But I was eating horribly. Just like, imagine they had these little meat things. Because again, I was only allowed to buy food at the tuck shop below in the building that I was in. So imagine like these little plastic tubes that clearly had some sort of gelatinous meat squirted into it, and then it has like a twisting mechanism where it like squirts out the tube, and then I would buy those things, and I would buy noodles, and that's basically what I ate for a month. All right, I would cut open those plastic tubes, and every single time I did that, just for what it's worth, I was like aware that this is gonna not be good for me, is it? And then I would eat it anyway because I was hungry enough to at least eat something. Horish, isn't it? Too much dissociation, right? And then I came back, and I was still in that state, and I'm super happy that I kind of snapped myself out of it a little bit. Bringing ourselves back to this reality to be calm, to be in a peaceful place. A little bit. How good? I'm good. How are you? The moon. Nice. I'm feeling chill. Feeling pretty chill. I'm feeling pretty hungry. I have been. I've been dissociating. Remember, disassociating, kind of in the same way as I've been talking about. That's why it comes up. It's like, oh well, old patterns. I am gonna get better at it though. I am gonna get better at it. I am already seeing myself taking steps to get better at it. So we're stepping into the right direction. Are you from Africa or did you buy land there? Noodle boy. Do I look rich enough to afford land? Yeah. This is what a landlord's looks like this. I'm lord of land. You flatter me, noodle boy. No, this is my dad's place. And my dad got this place on like a whim of luck as well. During the 2008 financial crisis, the mine that he helped build suddenly shut down because platinum price went from, I think, $2,200 an ounce to $900 an ounce in like a few weeks. All right, so like imagine all of your operating margin being not chopped in half, just like chopped off. Just like shot, like you have all of this. Oh, I got this money to work with, people to pay with, electricity. Just like it ceases to exist. And then that the mine is not far away from here. That mine had like all of this land that they bought because they wanted to mine it, and then suddenly the mining fell through the cracks, and then they were just trying to recoup as much of their losses as they could. And my dad bought this place from them. I've had such an interesting relationship with this place as well. I hated it for the longest time. Hated it. Because again, I am a computer person, right? Literally since I was born. And I'm not joking about this. I know it sounds like I'm pushing the extremes, but literally since I was born, I couldn't leave them alone, right? And again, I know that children are attracted to screens, but like, do mind, I was born in 1998, all right? And I was born in 1998 in South Africa. I didn't have internet access. Like the houses we had didn't have internet access. Not one of them. All of the houses we've had, the only internet access we got was by putting up a tower that like communicates to another tower. There is no physical infrastructure connecting houses to the internet. Not, I mean, these days we have like better fiber, especially in the cities, but still, out here, there ain't none of that, right? And I hated that. I hated that I knew that the world was so far advanced to what I was in. And I was ceaselessly trying to like catch up, ceaselessly trying to like teach myself. I knew how to use a computer by the age of 4, right? I was that kid in school that would literally be called out of class by other students, sent by teachers to come and help them fix their computer problems, right? Kind of cringe, but still, that was the kid I was, right? Where I knew with a relative degree of certainty how to fix the problem. I really like technology, like literally like it. Aggressively so. I want to merge with technology, as that's how much I like it, right? It's like, oh yes, it's like you like the swimming pool. You know, some people like swimming pools to look at. I like swimming pools to jump into. It's kind of like that, right? So I didn't like this place because it was so far away from where all the technology was, and it was dusty, and it was dry for most of the year, and the air is crispy. It hurts to breathe sometimes. And there are cows that make moo and shit on the floor. And none of my friends was close enough for me to just be able to go to their place. And it's interesting to notice how that has changed. My hatred of this place, that is. I really do appreciate it at this point so much. I have grown up. I still do not particularly enjoy how bad the internet is here. However, I think the technology is good enough where it comes to me now at this point. So I don't technically have to go anywhere for my technology to be with me. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Are you from Africa? Yeah. Fat shaming. What are you feeling towards it? I'm negative towards it. Well, I don't know if you set me up with any options in that way. Vala Pele. Hi to you, friend. Welcome. Sad sacks. It's a very nuanced thing, right? First and foremost, I'm thinking about Nietzsche, where he talked about the trait of a good man is one that saves, spares another shame. All right, that's what a good man is. One that would like spare another man's shame. Right. In other words, like if you see someone do something stupid for a second, right? You could be that kind of person that calls them out and be like, "Hi, fucking, look at what this stupid ass fucking do." You can be one of those type of people. But the kind of person that's like sees that stupid thing, maybe like looks at the person looking at you, and you're like, just like smile at them, be like, brush them off in that way, right? Brush off the sense of insecurities maybe arising in them. That's the sign of a good man, good person. So having said that first, and prefacing that almost like as the first thing, as in, if you want to be a good person, don't shame others. All right. The other side of it, the other side of it is that shame has been and continues to be a very useful tool in society. Right. So in that, there's a little bit of a dichotomy between those two things that I just shared, because I felt ashamed of being fat at one point in my life. If I get fat now, I feel ashamed about it too. Right? And it's not because of people shaming me as much as it is about me feeling like I'm putting myself to shame. You know, like there is so much potential as my genetics in this being. I can be like a literal, bodybuilder if I wanted to do that, right? Like that path is available to me as well. That is not what I want for my own journey. So I'm not going to start, using steroids and spending 3 hours in the gym and eating 4,500 calories a day, because that's not what I want for my life. However, in my genetics, with the way that I want to live my life, there is a certain, like almost like I imagine it like a shiny version of me, if you know what I mean, right? There's a version of me that has optimized my fitness and my diet and my sleep and my relationships and my work to the point where I am as I want to be, right? Where I don't have any room to cast judgment onto myself, where I don't have any room to feel any shame, where there's nothing but pride to feel on my own self. And I realize there is this truth in the fact that I am already that version of me, technically. I can already be that version of me that feels that pride. But it's also this active pursuit of, right? I don't think it's done. I think you're continuing, right? And I feel, if anything, if you are struggling with any like overweightedness, don't make it about the way you look as much as it is about how strong you are, how capable you are of doing things in this world. I find that if that is the thing that you show up for as your primary motivation, right, you'll notice yourself becoming stronger and more capable forever. Because I am already relatively fit, right? I already have the six pack. I have the definition that most people might want, but there is still insecurities in me of like, I need to be 7% body fat. Yes, I have six pack, but my six pack needs to be like absolutely cutting through my skin at all times. And like, that's not always healthy to be like that, right? So it is this weird balance that you have to find in yourself to love yourself as you are and to at the same time push yourself to be someone that you can love, right? And it is this realization of like health. To me, it's a big health thing. We know for a fact that exercising extends your lifespan, right? And all of us know that we don't want to die right now, right? We still want to live to see tomorrow. So if you have that in you, that you still want to live to see tomorrow, then you want to live to see the next day after that as well, right? And if you extend that far enough, then you're going to have to start doing things that ensure that you get that tomorrow. And that looks like exercise, and it looks like proper diet, and it looks like sleeping well, right? And if you do those things, if you exercise and you diet, right, you mind your diet, you know what it is you're eating and how much of it is you're eating, and you sleep well, then you will become in a way where it's impossible for you to be fat shamed. Looks are genetic anyway. It's true, Villa. And I got lucky in that case as well, right? Like I had two parents that happened to be attractive to one another, and I happen to be the result of that attraction. And I am grateful to my genetic dynasties, right? I appreciate what they've given me. However, I'm also willing to acknowledge that I am willing to change it, all right? And we are going to be entering an age where messing with our genomes is going to become a norm. It's going to become normal. Understanding and acceptance helps. It does. As you said, understanding why it is you might be overweight, accepting yourself as you are in that state is the first steps that you need to take if you want to change anything about it as well, right? If you're going to only come from a perspective of like, I hate myself, I I'm disgusting, I am unworthy of love, who could love me, I can't even love myself. If you're like coming from that perspective, right, it's very difficult to change anything, unfortunately. Let me continue reading. Me too. It's like calling a fat person doesn't reduce their weight. A person fat doesn't reduce their weight. Especially metabolism plays a bigger role than the good itself, I believe. Yeah, the food itself, I believe, maybe. Yeah, there are things you can do, you know. Like I'm a person that embraces fasting in my own personal journey, for example. The longest I've went without food is 2 weeks. All right. So I know that the human body is capable of not eating food. This human body, is capable of not eating food for 2 weeks. I had water and multivitamins. 2 weeks I didn't have to eat anything. And by the end of those 2 weeks, you would think I would be like, oh, I can't go on anymore. I felt as good as I feel right now. I felt energized. I felt present. I felt a sense of accomplishment and pride, like dopamine, like just dopamine, so much dopamine of like, fuck yeah, yeah, the human body is powerful, right? And again, fasting used to be a very big part of the daily lives of all human beings. And these days we have access to food 24/7, all the time. And whenever you're bored enough, whenever you have the time to eat something, you possibly can. And that's not the way it used to be. And it's not the way it should be either, unfortunately. We know that it's not good for us. Right? So, doing what's good for us is hard because it tastes good to eat stuff as well. Right? And it's very difficult to discern between those stuff. Something tasting good and something being good are not the same thing. And that's, I feel like, one of the biggest Sins, is it that? Sins of the food industry is that the foods that are really good for us might not always taste the most palatable. All right. And that messes with the way that we perceive. The way that we were programmed on a taste level is to like seek out the things that taste the best because it probably had the most calories in it. Right. So now our systems have optimized to those umami flavors and the right amount of salt and sugar and fats, right? And the right mouthfeel and the speed at which you eat it so that you end up desiring another one. Like, holy shit, we didn't stand a chance. The fact that we're not all literally round, Wally universing it is a miracle. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, shaming has its place in the world, but having a body is nothing to be ashamed about. Bodies are beautiful vessels of powerful minds. Shame reduces that power. You're completely right, Sean. Yeah. For me, like the when I said that shame is tools we use in society, I was thinking about the fractal of people that have so little shame that they like run around in robes, right, and like flash people in public and stuff, right? Like that is where shame has like left shame has like left in the through the back door, right? And like we want shame to come back. Please have some dignity, have some shame, have some decency. Shame is the tool the collective uses to correct individual behavior when they're being dense or uncooperative. Yeah, exactly. And again, right? Like it has been for the longest time a tool of that, and it has been a survival trait in us to try and avoid shameful acts, right? Because if you are so shameworthy, right? If you try to do something nasty to your freaking teacher in the middle of class, right? You'd get shunned so hard that you'd never be allowed in class again, right? You'd end up not learning the things that might have saved your life, given you the life skills, and maybe you'll never end up being with someone because you don't even know how to skin a deer. And then you end up never procreating. And then there's no children that do such shameful things or have the potential genetic tendency to. We human beings are both complicated and simple, and simply complicated, and complicatedly simple. It's wild. Unfortunately, that doesn't work with Ram. Yeah, there's no shame there, unfortunately, Nancy, as you're saying. It's so important to meet what we perceive in this world of curiosity, not judgment. We never truly know what someone is carrying or going through. Every person is a living complex. Layered story. The previous one was GC. This one is Platinum OG. And this one is instantly like, this is not going to sound appealing, but imagine it turned into a vapor. Imagine cookies that have icing that's licorice. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't want to eat one, but I might want to vaporize one. Licorice icing cookies. The more you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A layered story. Joe said, every person is a complex, layered story, and when we try to measure where someone should be based on our own lens, it's always going to be skewed. That's the ego trying to make meaning out of what it doesn't fully understand. Yeah. And look with the other tools. Some degen is out there swinging his wrench at fat people. And it's because the wrench swinger is a moron. Shame can be good, but only when applied correctly. Yeah, what is correct? All right, like we had a whole thing We're still technically going through that. What is politically, culturally, socially correct? I don't know if I am a PC person. Am I a politically correct person? I try to be. But in that, I see the problem, right? How many of us actually care about being politically correct? And how much of us just care about being perceived as such? You know what I mean? And that just means to me, because again, I don't concern myself with problems outside of my control. Right? Like it's not something that I can do anything about. With a lot of the political correctness we go through. Is that politically incorrect to not care? Ugh, so many layers. Moon Knight, bless your friend. How's the pet doing? Love is true. Sending so much love. Mm. No, 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 no. Okay. Shame has its place. Shaming's not useful, damaging rather. Again, right? Like it depends on the context. Where if we go back to the person flashing people, is that something that we should shame this person for? Or should we be not shaming them for that? Should we be like, actually, it's okay? Actually, you wanting to, what did Sam say? Swing your wrench. If you want to swing your wrench at strangers, that's fine. You know, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Everybody, most 50% of the population have wrenches to swing. And most people have seen a wrench swinging. So don't be ashamed. No, I don't think so. I don't like it doesn't feel like that's the right way to do it. All right. Again, I'm very particular. I might be drawn to the creepy, to the disturbing, but I wouldn't want to have the creepy or disturbing as a painting inside my house, if that makes sense. Right? The creepy or disturbing would be a fleeting moment. It would be something on a screen. I'd watch a movie or an episode of something that's maybe a little bit creepy, and then it'll be done, and I'll move on with my life. You know, the beauty we bring into our spaces is also something that is, in a way, attached to that shame sense, right? Some things you need to be ashamed of if you want that as like art displayed in your house. And again, that's my own bias. I'm an artist. So I am especially biased in this way. So Burp is good. He's molten right now. So he looks half porcupine and is cranky. Yeah, just like screaming his little head off. Usually they have like other burbs that like chew. They have like very like sharp little beaks, and then they chew those little tubies, and then they help pull it off. And right now, like the only Burby that's there to do that is Jovan. All right, and Jovan has a whole life as well. Oh, poor Zoburb. Can you imagine? Like, imagine. How can I imagine it for us? I think all of the ways in which it is to be imagined is kind of like scary. I think I imagine it like getting sunburned, right? And like your skin coming off. But imagine your skin coming off, and then there's like fluffy things under that skin that's peeling. And you have to like peel all of the skin for all of the fluffy stuff to come out. That sounds horrifying. That sounds horrifying, jeez. Oh, I am happy to be a human being. It's all I've known, but it sounds better than being bird. No, 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 no. So, what is wrong with being fat? Sumo wrestlers are revered as deities in Japan. Uh, it kills you, Taylor. Being fat kills you quicker. That's what's wrong with it. Right? Unfortunately, the data is very clear that your mortality, all right, the chances of you dying sooner goes up directly in correlation with your body weight, right? And again, the curve comes back down. If you're like anorexic to the point of literally like starving yourself, you can die as well, right? So body weight is a very big deciding factor. And there is a sweet spot, right? And that sweet spot, unfortunately, isn't fat, right? Like recently, I saw a video as well of someone talking about a bunch of the fat influencers, right? Like there's a bunch of people that became world renowned as like spokespeople for like healthy at every size, and 5 of them are dead, right? Only one of them made it to 36. All of them died before they turned 30, right? Dying before you turn 30 is not right. All right, I don't think so. To me, that's why I think being fat might be wrong, right? It doesn't mean you are like unlovable or unworthy of like life for being fat. Again, the whole attachment that we have to that. It's a matter of, do you want to live, right? And what are you willing to do to continue living? Right? That should be the most important question that we ask ourselves. How capable am I of living my life? All right. And if your weight doesn't get in the way of you actually living your life, of getting on a yoga mat, doing a practice with me, all right? If you can like do my yoga practice with me, or at least you're willing to show up to do my yoga practice with me, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. But if again it starts getting in the way of your mobility, right? If you need to use a mobility scooter in order to like move through your own house, I don't want that for anybody, right? Like it hurts me to imagine someone being confined to that lifestyle until they die. So the part of me that is myself, the part of me that wants to help, the part of me that wants to see people live the lives that they deserve, right? To live a good life, is the part of me that's willing to say something. But I am also not someone that likes being shamed either. So I try and like show up with examples, right? And I'll give advice. I'll show through my own actions what a human is capable of, right? In the small ways that I can. Shaming the German people after World War II is how we help them understand what they did was wrong. Shame is a vital tool. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild because this world is so infinite. Alan Watts really shaped the way I've come to see that there are no absolutes. Everything has its place. Yeah, me too, Joe. Alan Watts played a big role in my life with like my attachment to the infinity, as you said as well. Our teachers. Alan Watts, big one. Ram Dass, big one. Terence McKenna, big one. Eckhart Tolle, big one. Uh, who else have I listened to a lot? I'm forgetting his name, but I can see his face. He's very into the fractal of like changing yourself by changing your mind. Some of you friends might think of his name right now. Do send me. Monkey to monkey communication me. He's a doctor, or at least he likes going by doctor something. Ah, perfect recall. You cannot come sooner. Come sooner, my perfect recall. Come to me. Come to me. Give me perfect recall. Come to me. Come to me. Oh, the attachments. And aversions we carry, the things we label as good or bad, are really just invitations to either open or close our minds. Yeah. Again, one of the things that I did that might be closed minded of me, Joe, is that I think, you know, dying is bad. That is my attachment. And I don't think it's bad from the perspective of when you die, that's something that you did that is a bad thing. It's more a matter of, I don't want you to die. Joe Dispenza. Thank you, Jovan. Joe Dispenza. Yeah. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Yeah. That's the one that I was looking for. Another one that I was looking for. And there's, of course, Andrew Huberman. I've listened to David Sinclair a little bit, not that much. Of course, many different voices that have allowed their voice to be spoken, but those are the previous, like in that order. I feel like Alan Watts, Terence McKenna, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle. I feel like I'm missing one. It hurts me to feel like I'm missing one. It's hiding from me. It's probably sneaky like that. I feel like Terence McKenna would also get a kick out of that or something. Like I can feel like there's someone that has like big influence on me that I haven't named, and I'm trying to like find who that is. Uh, Charles Hoskinson, actually, but that's one that's more recent. I'm realizing, right? He's like one of the later teachers. Imagine like you have like all of these old teachers that you're really fond of, and they were like really pivotal in the way you see the world and the way you think about things. And like he's like one of my newer people that I like kind of listening to, learning from as well. Oh, jeebies. But if you are surrounded by bully boys in school, what then? I was surrounded by bully boys in school, bro. I was literally the like I don't know if I said this, but I was 103 kilograms at my heaviest, right? Which is 220 pounds at 16. I was a 220-pound 16-year-old. I was very not healthy, and I got picked on and got bullied, and I decided, fuck that. You're gonna bully me? I'll get so fucking jacked. I'll snap your neck by looking in your general direction. Get Baki jacked. And at that point, I was already watching anime, so I like believed. I believed in the whole anime montage, right? The fractal of like the protagonist getting like beat up and then like training to the point of oblivion, becoming the most powerful creature in the universe. I went into that arc. I did, and it changed my life. Taking that responsibility for my health, right? Like ripping myself out of that state, right? Like, fuck no, I will not tolerate this. And I got bullied again. I started getting bullied for using steroids, right? Like the transformation was so rapid and so visceral that people were like, "Oh yeah, he's just doing steroids." The only reason he went from being 103 kilograms to 80 and jacked, like losing 40 pounds and actually getting jacked, it must have been steroids. Like, yeah. And it made me, of course, to me, it wasn't seen as an insult. It kind of bumped me out that that was, again, now the story that was being told. But at the same time, I could know in my heart of hearts that it wasn't true. And people think I'm as jacked as I am because I'm using steroids, while not being on steroids makes me feel even more jacked. Where I'm like, yes, bro, imagine how jacked I'd be if I dared. And I'm so happy I didn't. I was this close though, and the reason they thought I did is because that specific gym I went to, everybody did. To the point where after I was gymming there for like 2 weeks or something, I got approached by the freaking personal trainers trying to sell me steroids. All right. And again, they made it sound appealing, where they're like, oh, bro, we can see you have good genetics. You just need some help, oh. If you use steroids, oh, you'd get fucking godlike jacked. And I was like, huh, I probably could. And then I asked them what it would cost. And it was something like $100 a month. Right. And I'm a what at that point, 18-year-old. I'm an 18-year-old hostel student. In other words, I'm literally hundreds of miles away from my parents inside a school building, right? At the whims of school teachers, being fed the school meals, right? There's no money. There is no money. Money is an illusion in that place. Uh, so yeah, spending $100 a month on steroids. If again, that's the thing. That's the other thing, right? If I had the expendable income, maybe my life would have been different right now for the worse, right? I might have been like, oh, $100, that's nothing. I got $200. So much. $100 is nothing. But no, fortunately, I didn't. Right. So I didn't end up like taking that path. However, I am not opposed to modifying myself. Right. I'm not opposed to going for myostatin knockout treatment or like to make my foliostatin, overactive or whatever. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to changing my literal genes to optimize my health. However, steroids, we know, is not good for you. So not good for you. Messes with so many different processes in your body. Maybe I'm like thinking about like all of the people that are doing steroids right now. Then again, there's like 16-year-olds out there doing steroids right now. A 16-year-old just did some steroids. Please, dude, stop. And like I hope for like the sake of their health that our technology catches up fast enough to save them from the consequences of their actions. I really do hope so. They do not deserve to die. Because again, same fractals, right? These big bodybuilder types, many of them have died, in their 30s as well due to heart attacks. So same vibes. Same vibes. Are you smelling my feet and stuff? What are you doing? I'm trying to find some space. You're just trying to find some place for you to sit this. You just want a place to sit the M's. You just want some sits. How can this be comfortable? Oh, this cannot be comfortable. It's kind of warm though. It's kind of nice. You dirty, but I can accept. Words are powerful. Be so loving and wonderful that you have no doubt that they're incorrect in their perception, so that when they realize, they feel shame for shaming. It'll catch up. I eat for health, not taste. I can't say that at all. I can't say that. I do like that things taste good. I am very lucky to like a lot of the stuff that tastes good or that is good, right? I thrive on like a high protein, high fat diet because I like the way it tastes. And in that way, I feel like I am very lucky. But I also really do like the way sugar tastes. Big surprise. You wouldn't believe it. But I'm viscerally aware that it's so bad for me. It's causing me a bunch of inflammation and causing my joints to seize up, essentially. It's not what my body wants. So I try and be mindful and limit it as much as I can. Eat for my health and sometimes have a taste, let's say. I eat for health, not for taste. Ends up with a plastic container of boiled chicken and a bottle of hot sauce. The definition of culinary depression. I mean, if you lose motivation to cook yourself good meals, it could end up that way. Right? You can make a piece of chicken taste nice. There's many ways to make a piece of chicken taste nice. I feel like that's just like a convenient excuse as well, unfortunately, Sam. It's that, oh, if I ate for health, I'd be so miserable eating chicken and hot sauce alone. Don't think that's true either. There's a there's a lot you can do. So we're good. Bless him. Dying before 30 is right if you read books written by Russian philosophers. That's so hardcore, Moon Knight, but it's true. Is that the patchy dog running like a ghost behind? It was. Like me, you've been at it for too long. While you feed off others' insecurities, you stand in front of me and bite the hand that feeds. Is that a song by Critical Acclaim? Sing, sing Avenged Sevenfold. Are you asking me? It's about politics and other problems that America have. Yeah, I do know Avenged Sevenfold. Oh, hello, who is this? How are you doing? The Soviet, bro. I'm losing patience. More patience lost. All right. Maximally, no patience beheadings. Lurk mode. Bless ya, Nancy. Love ya. No, I'm asking if you want to enter. The thing that pushed you to buff up Melt were you buffing up with the intent to be healthy as the motivator, or the intent to prove a point to the bullies? It was to become something else, show. Right? And like there was a very big part of me, of course. Like, and maybe I should say it in this way. I know I wasn't healthy because at that point of my life, my primary experience was depression. The experience I was inundated with as a life experience, being that overweight, is I hate myself and I want to die. Right? That's what I was like going through, churning inside my body. Churning, churning, churning. Back again. And when that bully moment happened for me, when they shoved me down and like I hit my head against the like floor and they were standing there over me, it made me feel like this version that I am, this person that I am, being this way, being this depressed, being this overweight, was gonna get that as a life, right? Being stood over, being bullied, being hurt, being hateful of others and myself, being unworthy of love. And I couldn't stand by living that life. I couldn't let myself. I still had enough love for myself to not let myself live that life. And it was, as you said, Joe, it wasn't necessarily for me a thing about getting healthy, because even though I was overweight, I felt healthy. I still felt strong. I still felt okay. I was depressed, but I didn't see it as, at that point at the very least, as a symptom of my overweightedness. Kobe's trying to mess up the kitties. I didn't catch the fun part. Like Kitty was trying to like stay chill, and then Kobe got closer, and then Kobe like tried to jump up on the ledge, trying to put his snoot up in her business, and then she like slapped at him. And then I only turned it around when you saw them running away. Thank you for asking those, Joe. It's just a thought. It doesn't have to be either or. It could have started at some place and turned into another. But that's the power of our environment. That's why it's so vital to be intentional with our influence too. I feel I really appreciated your question, Joe. It helped me answer in a way that I felt good. I was like, yeah, I wanted to change my life in getting fit. I wanted to change my whole life. And I did. Right? Life did change for me. And life is going to change for you whether you do that or not. That's the joke. Not always funny, but you can't really escape that part of love. So it is a matter of like what kind of life you want to live. That's the hard question, Jovan. I remember when I first started working out, I fucking hated myself still. And I only showed up for the other person I was doing it with. I'm happy that has changed, Sam. It's so meaningful to have a practice that you really enjoy for yourself. And it is hard, as you said, right? Like there is a lot of that showing up for another person. Christian was the one who got me into yoga in the first place, right? So he was the one who was that other person that I would show up for initially. It does help, though, admittedly, having another person to show up with. Again, motivation isn't constant, discipline is. And when it comes to the discipline and motivation, Vesica Pisces, your partner might have more discipline when you have less. And if they can help pull you into that kind of like space of let's show up and just get it done, and you feel good about it afterwards, maybe tomorrow rolls around and you're the person motivated and they might be the person unmotivated. And now suddenly both of you are better off for having each other in each other's lives, and you're doing something you already wanted to do, right? Like I heard a line by Mr. Hoffman, forgotten his name already, where he said, when you taste something, right? He talked about mint a few times. Like, can you explain to me exactly the neurons and flavor that you are experiencing when you taste mint? Probably not. And I can also not exactly give you my experience of what that mint taste is, right? So in that way, there is like a little bit of a separation between the experiential depth that is extracted, from the mint flavor. And I'm trying to relate it to the whole exercising with a partner, where there is depth to be extracted from that practice, right? And the only way to extract it is to eat the mint, right? Sure, it's going to be a different flavor for them, but the only way to taste is to show up for it. Christian got you into yoga. He seems so, how do I say this politely, high strung, like a CrossFit bro. He'd be very touched in you saying such things. But I think he'd understand as well. He did sign up for the gym recently. He does go to the gym as well. But the yoga he does isn't the yoga we do, Sam. I should preface that as well. He does like vinyasa flows, like extremely hard stuff, like these dudes are doing like so for instance, one of our teachers, Dylan Werner, he would literally go down into a forward fold, place his hands on the floor, and then lift his feet off the ground and then put them in the air, and then drop his feet down and put them on the ground, and then he lifts his head up and he puts his arms up, and then he puts his hands down, and then he lifts his feet up off the ground, puts them in the air. Right? I want to be desperately, I want to be that strong, but I'm not. And Christian wants to be as well. So it's like he finds a way to still be high strung about it, Sam, even though it's yoga. Like again, I believe because I was like a little bit of a gym bro when I lost all of that weight. I was just like doing squats, doing bench press. Kobe, stop jumping against the couch. I was doing like the basic, fundamentals. So I believe that was the best way to prove your strength, right? Like lat pulls, for example, right? Being able to lift a weight off its stand and then being able to pull it up with my lats, I could move. I think the most was 150 pounds. I could move like this, right? And it's not a very large range of movement, but it still made me feel powerful. I was like, yeah, 150 pounds, like two of my own body weights, three of my own body weights that I am just like holding one and moving through space. All right. And it convinced me that I'm strong. And then, as I said, I believe that that was what strength was. And then Christian introduced me to yoga, and I got uber wrecked. I suddenly realized that I am, in fact, very far from strong, and I still have a lot of strength still in the tank left for me to discover. And it became like a mobility thing of like, again, being able to have the strength to control, being able to put your hands down on the floor and just lift your legs up. And again, he doesn't kick his legs up, he places force through his shoulders and hands and then creates tension in his core to the point where he creates equilibrium and then just lifts his leg against muscle force up into the air. Like, it breaks my brain. How do you do that? How the fuck do you do that? Oh yeah, strength is wild. There's a bunch of different types of strength. Sorry, I love critical acclaim too much. It's okay. Just thought, environment. That's why it's so vital. Exactly. Christian got you to yoga. Does Christian meditate? No. Christian doesn't meditate much. Sometimes, but not actively. Right. I think he could do some good doing some meditatums. I want to do headstand push-ups one day though. Not gonna lie. I'll practice with you, Joe. I'll support your legs while you get stronger. I do know that Shishta got you that practice thingy, right? I want to use it too. I'll get strong with you. Oh, no. That's the power of our environment. It's true. Does Christian meditate? Yeah, that's what I've seen. He's very competitive with it, which isn't how I've come to understand yoga. To each their own. Yeah, right. Like, he's competitive with the teacher and then competitive with his co-practicer as well, which would be me in that case, where it's like we both, and it's not a competition like, oh, I'm better than you. It's more we're gonna do this class and I'm gonna keep pushing myself for as long as I can, and then I'm gonna look over to see if you are still pushing yourself as long as you can, and I would be damned if I'm gonna not push myself if you're pushing yourself still. Right? So it's kind of like that for me and him, where we push each other to push one another. We push ourselves to push each other, right? And in that way, yes, it is competitive, but it's also cathartic. It's a nice way to exercise as well. I don't feel like it isn't any like, because again, we'll do that and then we'll do like a sound bowl healing session afterwards, or we'll do like a guided meditation afterwards still, Joe. We'll like lay down there. All right. So we'll do that competitive thing and then we'll allow ourselves to just let go of all of that stuff, creating some balance. I don't think we did that when you were there though. We should definitely practice some again when you come. I'm hoping to go and see Christian. Here's about auto handstand teacher blink stuff. Yeah, I should show you. Check this out. Dylan Werner. Like, just the like thumbnails of this dude. One of him, and then like him just like freaking floating his body. There's another one of him. This dude. This dude has like godlike strength. Holy shit! Like, how do you do that? It seems. How does one generate so much force through their arms? All right. It's very bodies, but like that kind of stuff. He's on one hand. He's floating his whole freaking body off one hand. Okay, let's just like what the hell? Holy shit! How the fuck? I want to like see that transition. No, not like that. Yeah, this one goes from being on one hand. Is it still played? Yeah, just clicks over. Yes, I'll lift this hand up while doing handstand. Yes, I'll just leverage myself over my own arms. This is fine. Yes, control. I'll slowly drop my legs and lift them back up again. I'm like, what? How are you, sir? Please, what are your arms made of? Can I have some? Like, if you're using steroids, please tell me and show me where to get them. Like, and again, his arms aren't bodybuilder arms. Like, he's just well built. Like, this is kind of like the fitness goals I have for myself. I can do stuff. Can I do stuff like this? I don't know if I can do. Kobe is like, what's am I gonna be here too? Look at that. Yeah, Sam. That shit. How are you that strong? Like, again, we'll do this one more time. Like, it breaks my brain. How are you doing that? What in the fuck? Yes. Watch. And then he touches his, and then he just goes back up again. How are you doing that? Yes, Sam. And then he goes all the way. He goes all the way, and then he gently puts his feet down. He gently. I want to. I so badly. That's AI. I refuse to believe it. This is a real person. I have practiced with Dylan many a time. I know you're joking, of course, but how? How are you like that? Like the amount of tensile strength in your body. His fascia must be made of freaking fiberglass or something. Oh yeah. Yeah, human beings are really powerful. Like we are insanely strong. We just need to like practice that strength. Bitch, excuse me. What are you doing with that body, man? Like he probably can like freaking cut bricks with his hands or something, Sam. He does masonry, right? shaping stone with his. Use pixels. Pixels weigh nothing. Yeah, that's easy, bruh. That's easy. You just like shift a bunch of pixel values. Easy easy. So now you friends see what me and Christian compare ourselves to. Like that is what we aspire to be. That's how strong we aspire to be. Right? So until I'm that strong, I'm not gonna be satisfied with my progress. Zoom. It seems like a lot of upper body work to get there. Jovan is already strong. I've seen her do like handstands with her arms down. So like that's already like very big like shoulder strength and stuff. So she is building herself up to it. I think we learned about the prep poses to lead up to that. Do you remember one? Yeah, she's doing them. I'm working on it. I'm going into this month as active August. I can do crazy core stuff. It's my arms and wrists I need to work on. I'm also like wrist sensitive, same. Seems like the core would need to be strengthened and lengthened in order to pull that move out without crunching in the middle to get on the top. Yeah. I'm so happy that I showed you, friends, because like when I was like telling you about it, it's like, oh yeah, sure, Melt, you're exaggerating, and then I show you, like, look at what this fucking guy can do, and you're like, how are you, sir? What is there like wires? Surely there's wires. Maybe there's wire. There must be wires suspending you on those trees or something, and then they're edited out afterwards. Please tell me. Them hand grippies will help your wrist strength, and my intuition tells me it'll help you feel into your hasta banda. Absolutely. I can do minutes worth of crunches and whatnot in a shoulder stand, but I lose it when I try to extend the arms. It is a big cantilever, right? Your wrists are really thin. And it is a lot of pressure as well. I'll help. I look forward to it even. There's a mosquito looking for me. I missed it. Lucky for it, but you better find yourself somewhere else, dude. Freaking mechis. Nee, nee, nee. You can come here. Come around. Don't be running over my stuff. Bro, I just said don't be running over my stuff. Be mindful, oh. Be mindful of my stuff. Like, jeebies. I'm like, come around here. Runs, knocks my grinder over. Now he's like standing, looking away into the distance. Did you just lose a whole grinder of bud? Yes. I like some scraggly bits got like kept, Sam. Some scraggly bits is still in the grinder, but yes. And like I was trying. I was like, come around. Yes, there you go. There you go. Coming around from the back where my stuff isn't. Right? Where the limited resource that I savor is not standing in the way of your feet path. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still talking to you. F in chat for everybody. It's okay. It's okay. I still feel bad for having reacted. I instantly pushed him back because if he kept going, he would have probably done more damage. But I already feel bad about that. I mean, clearly he's fine. Big F in Indiana. Smoke the carpet, Joe. I thought that for a second. So you saying that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Smoke the carpet quickly. Quick, smoke the carpet. uh, there are grips you can get for your hands when they're in that position, Siobhan. The wrists need more support. Exactly. Yeah, you can maybe like get some of those like stuff that go around your wrists and that create like a little bit of a leverage force, allows you to like lean up against it. I still feel bad for how I reacted. My kid was awake before 6:30 this morning. I feel you. Yeah, we're growing. We're growing, dear Sam, always. I'm like playing with the little fluffies he has between his toes, but he seems unfazed. Okay, there he's a little bit phased. The phasing is happening. I must get my revenge somehow. You spill my weed on in the grass. You get some toe fluffies tickled. It's only fair. It's only fair. We have been here for a while. It's been a pleasure. It's time for us to say goodbye. I'll show you a flower. I'll read you a poem. And then I'll say you a goodbye. Oh, gavity goobs. Yep, morning. Looks cold and lovely. Good weather. It's the pup for the pup. Have the pup in your lap. You're right. The moon is up there for me. The sun is setting on this side. It was mostly nice. It wasn't like too cold today. Pup making himself a comfort. Gavster, it's nice having you here always. One of the OGs. One of the people that relentlessly support me. I appreciate you so much, oh. You're such a dude, bro. You the dude. The dude abides as Gabbity Goo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get some flour in your eyeballs. How about that? How about those creatures? Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, get some poem in your ears. I didn't like properly give attention to these creatures though. That's the creature that made me pick this flower. You see it? Little eyesies and little earkies and some horns. Jovan saw this little dude as well with a big old white mustache. Oh, it's funny how we see different ones at different times. Imagine yourself visiting and seeing my indoor garden. Switch to flowering. Yes, see, bro. What a lucky dude. He is going to experience the most beautiful smells. The factory of smell has been switched on officially. I mean, they already smell good technically when they're still growing, but as soon as they start flowering, the flowers smell good. I am really curious, and what's the word I'm looking for? Mm, excited. Yeah, excited to see your garden one day, bro. We're so gonna. I'll bring Mel to see you when he gets here. Travel the Americas. Ciao. I don't know how long it's gonna take us to get the Solar V running, but I do look forward to it. I think it's gonna be fun. All right, poem time. It is time for poem. Without now a further ado, I will read a poem to you. What is strong? It's called. There's a pleasant aroma from the vegetative stage, yep, which foreshadows the aroma that is to come. Exactly. Like if you can smell something during the vegetative stage, and like you can kind of like pinch the little stemmy, the stalks a little bit so you can get. Yo! Woo! 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 I'm shaking more fart out of him. Yo! Bro! Holy shibness! Knopness and nerves. Nerves nerves. I think I'm coming to y'all first. I think so. I don't know if you're going to be there. If we're going to get to you before we get married. But maybe. Who knows? All right. What is strong? This poem is called. Let's see what it says. Some say too sensitive, like it's a flaw. But imagine feeling the world in bold, bright colors every day. Your heart a ceaseless listener, your skin a gentle drum played by the world's every whisper. Yes, you bruise easily, but oh, how deeply you heal, how quickly you laugh, how sweetly you notice the smallest moment. Sensitivity isn't weakness, it's a compass. It points you towards kindness, guides you into empathy, anchors you firmly in the richness of living. You are built for beauty, tuned for tenderness, crafted to catch the subtle symphony others might miss. Wear your sensitivity like a badge, a flower, a quiet, brave rebellion. Feel freely, live softly, because gentle hearts make the strongest souls. I appreciate you, strong souls. Dog fart. Dog fart, like, and it's like it was just like channeling right up here, right into me nose holes. And then when I started like trying to get him off of me, like he was like, "Oh wait, now it's time to rip." And then like maybe I just like shook it loose or something, or bro, mercy, gobbers, summons the toots, bro. I really want that dog. He is so adorable. Hear that? Hear that? I got other places for you. You be farting on my lap like that, I'll send you to Moon Knight. All right, Moon Knight's gonna send me a bar of gold. Yeah, I know, kitty. A whole bar of gold. Moon Knight is gonna send me. Right, because of some of the gold in India, just like a full bar of 1 kilogram bar of gold, and then I'll give you this. He's like 3 kilograms of dog. That's a good ratio. You get twice. You get 60% more dog than you lost gold in. Has good conversions, right? And he's also bigger. I don't know if he's really 3 kilograms. He might be even heavier. You might even get more ratio of dog to gold. All right, so chip in quickly. Anshovan, can you convince Mel to give me the dog? I am ready to pay for the transportation. You just have to send me gold, though. You have to send me gold. Big old bars. Yes! Holy shiznit! Whoa! I'm sorry. Like, suddenly, like, the temperature dropped. I'm not joking, 10 degrees. Holy. It feels like there was like cold hiding out there somewhere because the wind is coming from this direction now, and it was coming from this direction the whole time. And the wind was coming from the direction that the sun was shining clearly. And now that the wind is coming from the direction the sun wasn't. I'm getting cold. It's getting cold, Kobe. I'm getting cold. It's so cold, bro. I'm getting cold. I'm gonna say goodbye to the people now. He really isn't phased. Oh, Moon, I would certainly love to try, but you've got to get government involved. Yeah, it's true, bro. Traveling dogs across country is no small feat. You'll have to go on plane. You'll have to go on plane, Cobras. You don't want to go on a plane, do you? No, never gonna have to go on a plane. You want to go to the place the plane takes off. Oh, God, irritate you. I like the way you think. I will pay in Bitcoin. The transaction is not known, and you can smuggle him via ship. Oh, bro, don't you threaten me with a good time, bro? You can't say that. Like I was like making jokes about gold because I know that that's never gonna happen, but it's so easy with Bitcoin that my mind is suddenly like, you know what, Kobe, if I can trade you for Bitcoin, I might. No, surely I won't. That's fine. You can stay. Yeah, you're safe for now. How much Bitcoin are we talking? Midnight, stop. Stop. You're not getting him. Back again. Hey, Nancy. We've been doing it for a while. We just finished reading the poem and stuff. I'm getting to say goodbye. This dude is fully grown. This is his full size now. How much Bitcoin? Yeah, exactly. It's like if you're saying the word Bitcoin, like I mean, if you were saying Satoshis, I'll give you Satoshis, Melt, for the dog. I'll be like, probably no. But the fact that you chose to use the nomenclature Bitcoin is like, are we talking multiple Bitcoins? I mean, technically, if we were talking about a kg of gold, you could get a few Bitcoin for a kg of gold, still, at this point, right? I think so. I think a kg of gold might be $73,000, so you might not be able to anymore. What is a kg of gold right now? Cost in dollars? Yeah, the abyss is lurking around, willing to hurt you. The night is taking over, unwanted to wandering around. Stay safe. I like wandering around at night. Like I've done it multiple times. I've done it. I shouldn't share this information. I've done it naked. Yeah. You can get a kilogram of gold for $109,000. So officially, you can officially not buy a Bitcoin for a kg of gold anymore. I think Bitcoin is 114,000 right now or something. Yeah, it's fucking bonkers. It's so crazy. And it's probably gonna go up to like 200 grand this year. I wouldn't be surprised. The money printer is gonna apparently turn on in September, so we're gonna see some fucking wackiness again. We really do live in the most trippy reality, don't we? All we can do is be aware of what's happening. Have the most beautiful day, everyone. Words and adjectives and adverbs of love and light and friendship and gratitude to all of you so wonderfully, beautifully beings. That's a nice one. I love you, Zhao. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me once again on another conscious evolution, a live stream, one for the books, one filled with some sensitive topics. I appreciate you, friends. Mel, can you make a vlog showing the place where you stream? It's not. I make it look better than it is, right? And a part of me wants to keep it that way for the pride of my family. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right? Some of you know what I mean. And if you know what I mean, I'll see you friends again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye now.